So let's take a look at the market. I'll go over, Bitcoin, Sol, and ETH like I always do. I'll take some suggestions, but we're at a very interesting point. So why are alts running? Are most alts running? Bitcoin dominance, right? We took out the highs. We started rallying from the 18th of June on most coins, right? And then yesterday we had a dump on a few coins, hit resistance yesterday, and then most coins started to run. The strongest coin in terms of the BTC pairing is actually Sol right now. If Bitcoin continues to run, this coin will run much harder. We actually had a flip of resistance 2 days ago, and this is one of the most bullish looking charts right now. I wouldn't short Sol. I wouldn't get into longs right now either. I'll explain why when we get into the chart. But when the market is trending down, you want to focus on the BTC pairing for the alts. Okay, if a coin is not going down in terms of its USDT pairing, when Bitcoin is going down, check the BTC pair to see how it's holding up. If this is showing very bullish or very strong in compared to the USDT chart, it just means when Bitcoin rebounds or pumps, the USDT pairing will pump much harder, right? So Sol is one of those coins that if Bitcoin goes down, it's not going to go as, look, right? Bitcoin's down currently on the day, like 1%, ETH is down, but Sol is up 4%. So yes, Bitcoin will go down, but not as much in relativity to Bitcoin. So this is one of the coins that you want to play on pullbacks. And to be honest, like these past few weeks, I've only been trading 3 coins: Bitcoin, ETH, and Sol. There's no point in trading anything else when liquidity is just in 3 coins and volumes in 3 coins. Yes, you can make money in shit coins and stuff, but I'm just sticking with 3 coins, and that's not going to change for the next 1 to 2 months. I'm just going to be focusing on those 3 coins, right? Now let's take a look at Bitcoin. And I posted this chart on Twitter in my channel, and now I'm going over it on live. So this is our range low levels, right? And I've mentioned before that if this level is lost, and by lost I mean closing the daily under, okay, retesting and turning it into resistance, and then if that happens, we are going down to this 53 to 50K level, all right? But before I go over this more, I want to show you guys something. All right. So the weekly level was saved, okay? We did not break structure yet. This is our low, all right? And you always, like, a line chart is great because it shows you everything without the wicks, okay? If I were to go back on a candle chart, you see that the candle closure here is what I always look at when we talk about break of structure. I don't look at wicks. A lot of people go by wicks, and in my opinion, they're wrong. You always want to take a look at candle closures, okay? So if we go back to the line chart, this was our last low, right? Yes, we did put in a lower high, a lower high here, but we did not break structure to put in a lower low, okay? If that happens, if we do put in a lower low on the weekly time frame, it doesn't mean go ahead and short immediately. You want to short the next lower high, okay? So if we close below this, which would be below range lows in terms of candle, you want to see a lower high made before you go and short, all right? Because look, if I go back to the daily, right, and we here, if we go back to this time frame, okay, if this is our higher high, right, and then when we're just putting in lower highs, right, and lower lows, this was our last lower low, okay? And if I were to fast forward this, right, here is your next lower high. So if you had shorted once we made this, right, you would have gotten wrecked. You had to wait for the next lower high to form, then that's when you could have shorted. Same thing goes for the weekly. All right. This was our last lower high. We failed to make a lower low. In fact, we put in another higher low. We broke market structure, right? And that's when you would have longed. Okay. Same thing on the weekly.
Yo, what's going on, boys? How we all doing? How we all doing? I don't know what happened to Arsh there. Arsh, everything alright? And the meaning
What
of
the
life
fuck?
is?
Did I get kicked off?
Yeah, what's going on, bro? Yeah, we can hear you.
All right, one sec. What was the last thing you guys heard? Because I was talking to myself. Let me share my screen. Stop picking on the gay boy. It's like sexism. Lower low on the
Mate,
daily.
that video just he made was so kinky.
I know. Okay. So back to here. All right. Here's the lower low on the daily. Right. You wanted to wait for the lower high to form and then short. I'll go back on the weekly to see. But then we came back down, failed to put in a lower low, in fact, put in a higher low, and that was a break of market structure. That was your long trigger. All right. Now back to the weekly. Let's go back to the line chart. Oh, I was like, well, what the fuck is happening? I'm in replay mode. So here is your last low, right? If we close below, you want to wait for that next lower high to form, and then you can short. At that point, you will see probably some type of, supply zone here, right? If I go back to like, right, here is like your area to short. Now this falls in line with this level here. Now, Bitcoin is in a range, okay? These are the most important levels. So I'm going to post this chart. It's in my channel as well. But if you want to create a Bitcoin chart, these are the levels that you need to have on your chart, right? Here is your range high, okay? Here is your range low. I just made it one giant support area, okay? This is your last low, and we bounced perfectly from it. This is your mid-range level. I mentioned before that this was the most important level at one point that we needed to hold, okay? We came down from range lows to mid-range, had a little bounce. We lost it, turned to resistance. Now that is a very crucial level to reclaim. If we are able to reclaim and hold, it does not mean we are bullish. It just means that we should be targeting 67.2 next. This is your almighty boss level. You should not be bullish until this level is flipped to support. Okay? Let's put this on the top. That is your boss level, okay? So I am not bullish until this level is flipped to support again. Okay, because every single time we flip it, we target range highs. Right? So that is your boss level. If that level is reclaimed, I think that this time we go to all-time highs. All right? I don't think we reject from range highs this time. However, we had a bearish retest, and I think I posted in the analysis or my analysis that we had a bearish retest yesterday. We closed. That was your trigger to short. right? I mentioned before, I mentioned to my students on stream on YouTube, to everyone basically, you want to wait until you have confirmation to short. That closure was a confirmation to short. And if you had closed after the daily candle opened, you got a nice almost 2% move. Okay. Right now, I would not short. Right now, I would not long. I gave a trigger on when to go into a play, and it's this one here. All right. Here's a 15-minute scalp. Now, I hope no one longed because I mentioned that you need a flip for this to happen. Okay. Here is Monday's highs. Here is Monday's low. We broke below. Okay. We possibly have a PO3. Okay. Accumulation, deviation, expansion. Right. For us to long, we need this. It's a 15-minute time frame, so it's not going to be as strong. And I'll post this in chats as well, but I just posted it in my channel maybe like an hour ago. We need this level to be reclaimed and flipped to support. Okay, it's previous range low. We have a deviation. If this is reclaimed, then you will long with your stops somewhere around here. It's very, very tight stop, and then you will long it back to Monday range high. Okay, it does not look good right now. It looks like we put in possibly another lower high, right? So there's no trigger to long. There's no trigger to short. If you're looking for shorts, I would wait to see what happens at mid-range. If you're going to short mid-range, it's going to be something. Let me go to a different chart because I like this chart. Okay. If you're looking to short, it's going to be something like this. Entry at the resistance. Depends on how tight you want to have your stop loss, right? You can have it right here above like this. That's where I would do it, because if that level is reclaimed, then we go much higher. And then you play back to range low, right? If it's a range, you short mid-range back to range lows. If mid-range is flipped to support, you long back to range highs. You don't do anything while we are hovering at mid-range. You can only play mid-range when we are at range highs or lows. So this trade is valid, but if we start hovering here, right, like after the first rejection, and then we come back up and start hovering, you don't want to take anything during mid-range. So this would be your short setup. And again, you know, if you're playing a range, you always short range highs until proven wrong. I think this time if we go back up there, we're going to be proven wrong, but you're still going to take the trade regardless. Back to mid-range. And then just like how we bounce from range lows, you can take the trade again. Back to mid-range. Okay, this one has a terrible R&R. This one very risky because we've had multiple rejections. Both of the range highs and range lows are going to be risky trades. This one is the most, in my opinion, safer of the three. All right, so I'll post that. I am not taking any of these, by the way. My short button is disabled. Now let's go to ETH really quickly. I need a clean chart. Let's do this one. Okay. So if we're going to play fractals again, right? We had a failed breakout. All right, now we're hovering here again. I can go to a lower time frame. There's actually a little bear flag here, but breakout, successful retest, then that's when you will long, stops below support. So basically the same setup that I gave a few days ago, the entry at 3407, is the one you're going to take if the retest happens. Okay, now if I go to a lower time frame, we actually do have, right, higher lows being placed, but you also have a bearish flag forming as well. Okay, with targets of 31.24, which lines up with the other demand zone play that I gave, the swing play. I am hating TradingView right now. Okay. Okay. So technical targets of this bear flag, and this bear flag is not invalidated yet. We can still go up here. It's not going to be invalidated until this trend line is broken above. So I still have these swing limits set. You can find them in my channel, but I would not long ETH until we break out and retest on the daily and hold. Okay. Now, if you're looking for a scalp, let me post this really quickly. I'm gonna go back to the daily because that's where it came from. Now, if I were to go to, let's use a MEXC chart. Yeah, this is the same setup that I gave that I was waiting on. Actually, I don't want to use this. Let's use. All right, one sec. I don't need this anymore. If you want a scalp play, yeah, that's where I wanted to long originally. 33.44 was my entry originally. So I mean, we can definitely bounce from there, but playing the golden pocket. Now, the golden pocket is going to be a little bit risky because at that point we have broken structure, right? This is your last higher low. Come back. If we close here, right, we have a break of structure, bear flag target playing, but this is the original setup and it was on the 8-hour. Yeah, this is the original setup that I wanted with stops below there. So entry, DCA at support here, which lines up with the 786 fib. And then hopefully, that's the low, put in a double bottom. Okay, reject, and then go higher from there. Now everyone's like, oh, what about the ETH ETF coming out July 8th or whatever? It's meaningless. It is not going to, it's already priced in. We're not going to really get any movements. Inflow, sure, but I don't see us going to 4K, 5K immediately. I think for the next month to month and a half, at least till the end of August, we're going to be in a low volume, choppy area. So trades are going to be much harder to take. Frustration is going to be at all-time highs. People will quit, and then once everything settles down, the end of Q3, beginning of Q4 is when I think that we're going to start going back up. So all you have to do is survive the chop for the next month, month and a half. Keep your capital. If you are taking trades, take it on low leverage, low position size, and play it that way. Because you will literally see this for the next, it's going to be choppy for the next month, month and a half, in my opinion. And that's because historically, bull runs during summer have always been low volume. It's time for people to go out and touch grass. and not trade. By the way, we have this is Coinbase, and these are perps. Spot price is having a discount compared to perp price. This is not bullish at all. All right, this tells me that we might go a little bit lower. You always want spot price and Coinbase spot to lead over perps, and we are about $100 lower. Not good. All right, so just keep your eyes out on that. Back to ETH. I'll post these as well. But I think you can take either one of these. This is the one that I would definitely go in with. And then if you're taking this one, it's easy invalidation. If you get stopped out, then you get into this one. Last but not least, Sol. So we caught the Pico bottom. And again, it was an order block play on the 8-hour. Filled perfectly. Now we have an inverse head and shoulders playing, possibly. We are at resistance. It's going to be our second touch. Demand zone is where I'm going to be placing my bids. Okay, DCA at the bottom. Now, I would be careful here because we are at resistance. You want this level to be flipped. As I mentioned, the Bitcoin pairing is super bullish, but it's also at resistance here. Okay, a very, very crucial resistance. Flip this, and we will go to 180. Right? Flip this, 180. Technical targets of this inverse head and shoulders is about 178. I round that up to 180. It doesn't matter if we go to 200. I'm still gay. But that's what I'm looking at right now. Okay, if we flip this, then we go much higher. We are also putting in another higher high here. So I wouldn't be surprised if we go a little bit below this demand zone and put in a higher low and then go higher. But if we flip this, I will add more to my spot position. My average is 128, bring it up to probably like 135-ish, and then hopefully run that to 180. Okay, I'm not going to post this because it's already in my channel, but that's the setup that I would take. Okay, now that I've gone over the coins that I want to look at, I'll take a few suggestions here. It has to be, a high cap coin, not something stupid like Jupe. I will kick you out of the stream if you suggest Jupe. For ETH setup, would you have DCAs? Yes, so if you're taking the second one with the entry at 33.46, your DCA would be the 32.79. It's going to be the 786 fib. If you're taking the first setup, no DCAs. Okay, let's take a look at Uni. So right off the bat, we see that we have a range, right? Here's your range highs. And here is your range lows. So you will play the range until broken. This chart looks disgusting. I think we can go back to this support area. $8.26. This looks like distribution. But, if you're going to take, taking a long here is going to be risky because where would you place your stop loss? Right? Like, if you're going to place it, it'll probably be here. It's going to be a very, very tight stop loss. Because there's no other point. You don't want to place it down here Yeah, I'd probably place it a little bit below this. And then you're going to play it back to range highs. TP1, TP2, and TP3. And if this goes back to, there's an area where you can take a short. It's going to be this 4-hour order block. Okay. And then you have range highs where you're going to keep shorting until proven wrong. Probably stops somewhere there. There you go. Uni. However, I think you can get bids into here. That blue box. That's your buy zone. RNDR. We're at resistance. Reclaim this level. And I mean, like, I think in terms of AI coins, like they're pretty weak. You have a whole bunch of liquidity down here. So I'd set bids just in case we go down. But if this level is flipped, then you could take a long. Probably stops very, very tight. And target there. I wouldn't long here. You would have to wait until this is flipped to support, and then you long, otherwise you bid down here. Looks like a possible deviation forming as well. Sui. So we're in demand. We are actually on life support here. Okay. I'm going to go to a lower time frame setup. Got a little cup and handle forming. Okay, there's your cup, there's your handle. So you need a breakout and retest of this level. And then technical targets of this cup and handle. Yeah, there's supply zone. So if that happens, this is your setup. Otherwise, this just looks like another low wants to be put in. You can take this setup if it gives. Most likely, there's an Adam and Eve pattern here. If you're going to short this is the area to short. If we get up to 90 cents. Stops above. And then you just play this range. TP1, TP2, TP3. So 3 setups there. They all require patience. Link. Link looks good. Now if it holds here, we have an inverse head and shoulders. Okay. Those are ugly. I'm going to redraw them. So if this level holds, not only do we have higher lows, it's going to be putting in another higher low here, but if this level is flipped to support, which it has not done so yet, we flipped it, right? But this retest closed below, needs to hold above. If that flips, this is your setup, and you'll target this daily order block, or this 4-hour order block. That's your final TP, okay? Lose that. Might see a little rising wedge here. Not really. Something like this, maybe. Now, stop loss placements here is tough because probably place it here. So here's the 1-hour scalp. And then we have the 4-hour inverse head and shoulder setup. Okay. Possibly shorts can be taken here, but I think Link looks good, and I think honestly, like Sol's just ripping, but I think this month will be good for altcoins. Just buy some on spot and chill. Ton. I'm not shorting personally at all. Wait, is this the highest? This is the oldest chart. No, don't short Ton. It's getting close to price discovery. Never short coins that are showing strength like this. Yeah, I think this goes into price discovery. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if this puts in, if we continue to run well, if this puts this move in. One sec. Here are your potential levels. These are your buy levels. Spot players, stops below here, and then you target there. I would not short this coin. AR. I already went over Solana. I won't be going over it again. What coin did I just post that looked exactly similar to this? One sec. RNDR. This chart looks exactly like RNDR. Possible deviation setup. Needs to flip this. Right. Stop loss would be tighter, probably there. That's your setup. Now on the daily, right, like this exactly looks like RNDR. So either you buy there, or I don't think this comes back down to here anytime soon. But okay, so you buy support, trendline confluence, and then you target the supply zone. Or wait for the flip to happen, and then you long stops below there and target the supply zone. AR. Vannery. Yeah. Most AI coins look like this, but actually, hold on. This isn't the oldest chart. I always use the oldest chart. Okay. I don't know when I drew this, but it's playing out perfectly. Yeah, this would be the area to buy. You have a double bottom formation, stops below, and the ABC is already correct, like played out already. So this is your like boss level right now. But if you're buying here, you're targeting. We're still in the downtrend, right? But typically from an ABC Elliott wave, you get like a 20% move. That is your TP. That's what I would look for. So if you long stops below 1176, you're looking for a 20% move. LDO. Now this is all FUD, so like it's gonna be very hard playing coins that had news like this, right? This looks like shit. Like this needs to hold. Otherwise, you're playing this demand zone again. Now, for my students, this is the 50% rule, right? So the setup would actually be I don't know how high this goes, but either it bounces here or it goes down to once like this order block here. But I'd stay away from this coin. When you have news like this, that drops a coin like that in a single day, right? Yes, you can benefit from it, right? But it's just way too new. Like you need some time for consolidation to happen and then expansion. This just dropped. It's consolidating on support, which is usually bearish, and then yeah, I think that this drops a little further. Now, if ETH pumps, this will pump with it. Not as much as it used to, but just careful there. If we do go back to this area here, it is a short though, in my opinion. Give me a second. Okay. How to know when a support is flipped. So, or you mean resistance is flipped or support is flipped? Either way, let's go back to this example here. Using a 15-minute chart, okay? You need, like if this is your resistance, you need a closure above, okay? So candle to close above. Whether it's the next candle, it could take many candles to come back down and retest that level and close above. That's when you have a support flip, or sorry, a SR flip. Okay, so it could take many candles. It could take many days if you're on a higher time frame. It could take many hours. You need candle closure above, whether it's the next candle or whatever, however many candles that comes back down. It could take again time. Once that candle retests and holds, then you have a confirmed flip, and then that's when you mark it long. And then same thing, vice versa. Right? Like this, we had the candle closure below, like this was our support, right? But we have not had a successful retest of this for this to be considered a resistance. So this line here is considered an SR. We have not retested it for it to be resistance. Adam. This chart looks like garbage. Yeah, it needs to hold here. So my suggestion, stay away from coins that were made last cycle. Okay, you want to focus on the new coins, like basically any coin that you are staking. By the way, staking is a terrible program. Like Dimension, like DYM, TIA, Atom, Injective, anything that you're staking is are garbage coins. You want to focus on coins with narratives and coins that are made this cycle. So this is literally do or die for Atom. Okay, like this is range low. It needs to hold here. Otherwise, like it's just gonna free fall to about $4. This is your last level of support. Here is your range high. Okay. Here is your supply zone. This most likely goes and rejects from here. But we have, this is your fourth touch of range lows. So, I mean, if you're going to long here, then this is your setup. To mid-range first. You're not getting range highs. Okay, TP1, TP2, TP3. Like this is the best R&R you'll get. Missed the news. What was it? Oh, the SEC sued Lido Lido Finance, saying that it was a security. That's why it dumped. CRV. I think this was another failed thing, right? They had like news. One sec. I'm going to sneeze, so excuse me. Excuse me. Nope, I see no divergences. Maybe a small daily one, but I doubt it. It's got a double bottom, so this would be the setup if you're going to long it. Right, very, very tight stop loss. So it's a market long, stops below the wick, and then you're targeting there, but you're going to TP in between. What's the shit coin? Again, last cycle's coin. I got a few more coins in me. I'll do 3 more. So Pendle. I'm just going down the list. So Pendle. Hold on, let me get rid of this useless RSI tool. Alright. So this looks like Bitcoin. Okay, here is your range high. Touch, deviation, right? Reclaimed. Here is a good example of a support reclaim, right? So we close below, we break out, retest, hold. This has been flipped back into support, and then we continue to go higher. Now we are here. So this daily candle is disgusting. That's very bad. I wouldn't touch this right now. I mean, you have a bearish engulfing candle that basically takes away so much. I would wait to see if it comes to this order block. It probably gets front ran a little bit, so front run it. Stops below. Target supply zone. Possibly a short there. Right, here is high, low, higher high. This probably puts in a lower low. Then you wait for a rejection there, and then short it back down. Okay. Yeah, this looks disgusting. But, you know, everything lines up with those areas. Pendle. Tia, Tia, I mean, it's no better than Atom or Dimension or whatever the shit coins that you can stake are. Okay, last two coins, IO and Rats. Sorry, yeah, I did a lot of your coins. Let's do IO. I don't even know what this is, but I'm looking at it. Okay, I'm not charting this. I'm not charting this. I can't. There's like no information. It's too new of a coin. Rats. Sorry. Let's do. I don't want to mess with all those zeros. Probably that bullish divergence played out there. It's putting in another lower high currently. This probably comes back down to. This coin's very illiquid. I don't know why it pumped. I don't think the ruins are pumping. But you do have a demand zone here. Man, this does not want to work with me today. So possibly a setup can be taken. Stops below. Put in another higher low here. Right. And play it to that daily or that 12-hour order block. If I were to draw fibs. Yeah. So entry very small at the top here. Okay. DCA at the golden pocket. Stops below the wick. And then hopefully it moves higher. And then this is a short in my opinion if we get it. This coin is just so illiquid. You have these random wicks, so just be careful. Double tops there and then just dumps. Probably like a W pattern. Right, and then just dumps. Do you know if there's a way to view market cap instead of USDT? What do you mean? Like market cap of alts? There's total. So this is market cap of everything. Then you can do total 2, including or excluding Bitcoin. And then you can do total 3, excluding Bitcoin and ETH. So these are just basically everything else that's alts. As in market cap by Sol. No idea. There you go. There's Sol's market cap. I just typed in Sol and market cap. Cool, guys. So that's it from me. I'm going to stop recording.